My name is Mike Santana. I represent TNA Wrestling. I'm born and raised New York City. Specifically, I'm from the Bronx. Yeah, man, I like to say that just grew up a poor Puerto Rican kid from the projects that had a dream and you know, the courage to chase it.
So let's talk about the event you guys having in Dallas next month, coming up, Genesis. Also, the first live show on AMC. Talk about like the impact.
I mean, it's a huge deal. If anybody that's been paying attention and following TNA wrestling for the last few years knows that this is a huge deal for the company and for its fans, because you know, just a few years ago when I was doing my first run in 2017, it was, I like to call them the dark times, because there was so many transitional periods going on, different owners coming in, different leadership, and there was times where we were wrestling in front of 50, 60, 70 people. And the fact that we've gone from that and everyone has worked their butts off to get to where we're at today and wrestling in full arenas and breaking attendance records, it's a huge deal. So, you know, the deal with AMC and our debut that's happening on January 15th, I feel like is just a testament to all the hard work that the entire team has put in. Not just the wrestlers in the ring, but, you know, the front office and production and everyone in between, man. Like everyone at TNA, I feel like has just this common goal as far as we want the brand to elevate. And we do what we can to help each other elevate at the same time. So I think that's something very important. It's something that makes us unique. We have a very family-oriented locker room where everyone gets along, everyone hangs out with each other. And I've been around 17 years in the game. I've been in many different locker rooms, and I'll tell you straight up, it's not like that everywhere, you know. And the fact that throughout the years that TNA has maintained that atmosphere is a huge deal, and we're all very protective of it. But yeah, and you know, January 15th, like you said, it's the debut on AMC, Thursday Night Impact. And then 2 days later, we have TNA Genesis at Curtis Culwell Center, you know, and one of our biggest pay-per-views, and it's going to be stacked for sure. And right now, there's just 2 matches announced, but I'm sure as the weeks go on and everything builds up nicely, we're going to have a great card. And actually earlier this year, we were here in Curtis Culwell Center for Genesis, and man, Dallas came out strong. And you know, Dallas has always been a wrestling city, and we're excited to bring these shows here.
Talk about like what is that 48 hours like for the performers and for the production and the company. I mean, to have, you know, not only just, you know, for it to be a live event on a big network, but then also the pay-per-view event. But what is that 48 hours like? Just, you know, hustle and bustle. And
oh man, we gonna find out for sure. You know what I mean? I think one thing that I've realized, not just with myself, but TNA as a whole, is we thrive in that pressure. And I think when the pressure is on is where we do our best performance, and we've shown that throughout the years. You know, they have a thing within the wrestling community is that TNA won't die, and I think it rings true every time that we go out there and every time that we perform and give everyone our very best. But that pressure is on, and I think because of that, we're gonna pump out the very best that we can. You know.
For you being a wrestler, performer, like, and you talking about just here in 2025, it is a really good time to be a wrestling fan. We just talking about the accessibility, and like there's wrestling on almost every night.
Yeah.
But not only, you know, just on linear television, but you know, social media, online, and I mean, people watch clips and stuff like that. But just, you know, just talk about like, you know, how good it is to just have all this access to so much, you know, content.
I think just in the 20 years alone, man, like media has grown so much, right? So I think that's played a huge role in the accessibility of pro wrestling. Back when we were growing up, we had one night, and that was Monday nights, right? And everyone tuned in. But like you said, the fact that we're at a point in 2025 that wrestling is on TV almost every day of the week. It's insane. It's amazing, and it's hard to keep up with, you know what I mean? Even for me. But I always just try to keep my ear to the ground and do my homework and stay updated with everything that's going on. Because, again, it's such a amazing time, not just for the fans, but also for the performers. The fact that we have options, the fact that we have the ability to now move around to different places and be able to make a living off of doing this, you know what I mean? For a long time, it wasn't like that.
Right. And
the fact that I get to live an amazing life and give my daughter a great life because of this is pretty cool, you know? Like growing up, I really didn't expect to be where I'm at today and just be at the level. And also I just find it cool. I was talking about this yesterday where like we grew up during such a boom period for pro wrestling and its fandom and all that stuff. And the fact that I get to live and experience and be in part of the next boom period of pro wrestling at a top level is a huge deal to me. So.
This is more of a fandom question for myself, but
Yeah.
you know, we all grew up watching wrestling, and you know, we pretend. I mean, I got a,
Of course.
I got a fake. I mean, not fake, but you know, I got a wrestling belt in my office.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, we pretend to, you know, come out, throw out the belt, and do all these moves with each other and friends and stuff like that. But you get a chance to live it.
Yeah.
You get like, what is that feeling like walking out? You know, and folks scream your name and you interacting with the fans. Do you still get goosebumps, or like, what is it like?
Like, there's nothing like it. You know, I think that is the biggest reason why we do what we do, you know what I mean? For that feeling, the feeling of walking through the curtain and just knowing that every person in that building is there and you're one of the reasons why they're there. It's such a huge thing. And, you know, also for a kid that grew up doing backyard wrestling with my friends, right? And the fact that I get to do this for real and it's my career and it's something that I've legit dedicated my entire life to. It's insane, man. But going back to that, the feeling, I get goosebumps every day. I still get nervous. I always say the day that I'm standing behind the curtain and I don't get nervous, it's time to go. You know what I mean? So the fact that, and it just shows that I care and I love this. Like this, I've been into wrestling since I was 4 years old. I've dedicated my whole life to it. And I'm in it for the long run. I always say like this is it for me. Like I'm gonna be in this business for the rest of my life, and I embrace it and I love it. But yeah, there's no better drug than that adrenaline, man.
You had a rather lengthy career. You kind of probably looked upon like as a veteran.
Yeah.
Talk about like some of your proudest moments, whether it was with the LAX faction or you know your singles run. Just like what's some of those moments?
I mean, man, like just going back, I was blessed and I'm blessed and thankful to have the career that I've had. Especially like again, I didn't think I'd be where I'm at today. I look back very fondly on the tag run that I had. We were together for a long time. We got to accomplish a lot of things together. We traveled the world, won numerous championships. And the same now, like with my singles run, I feel like the last 2-3 years, I've done exactly that. You know what I mean? If not like almost double, right? And I'm just thankful, and I've been able to learn from some of the very best in the business. I've worked with some of the very best in the business, and all those things throughout the years that all the knowledge that I've gained, I've just put to use, and it just shows because of where I'm at today, right? Like, so I'm just thankful. I've wrestled some of the greats. I've been out there with people I used to play with their action figures, right? Like, so it's been truly a special time, and I look back very fondly. And the beauty of it too is that I started so young. I got into the business at 17 years old, and I'm still young today, and I got so much more to go. And the fact that I feel great health-wise, and I feel like I'm just getting started, you know.
As soon as you sat down, one of the first things you proudly said that you know from the Bronx. You said
Absolutely.
you're Puerto Rican.
Absolutely.
Like, what does that mean? You know, to represent that culturally and then be rooted into who you are as you know. As a man and as a performer?
It's a huge deal. I mean, authenticity is something that's very important to me. And like a lot of us didn't grow up with many people that we could look up to, right? And the fact that I get to be who I am on television, straight, like, you see me on the block, you see me in the street, this is who I am, you know what I mean? And I love the fact that kids from my neighborhood, like, I give such a accessibility, right? And they could see me on TV and also see me at Target and see me, you know, walking the streets. And I love the fact that it also allows me to keep my feet on the ground, you know, and it keeps me humble. And I've never allowed this to like get to my head, you know what I mean? Because I'm very aware that this could end tomorrow, and it's over, right? So for me, the fact that I get to use my platform to represent who I am, to represent where I come from, and also to represent those that need someone to look up to, you know what I mean? And that, like, it's so important to me, just representation as a whole. And I'm thankful, like I always said growing up, that I wanted to do something that was gonna help people, and especially from the neighborhoods that I come from. And the fact that I've learned that wrestling is my platform to do that is a huge deal, and I don't take it for granted.
You talk about, like I said, you being a father. I know you had moments this year with your daughter, and like you said, hey, you still got so much. You know, how is it? You know, her being able to watch you perform, like knowing that she can watch your career and, you know, be right alongside, you know, that journey with you.
It's, I mean, it means everything to me. Like, my daughter is my entire world. The fact that, one, she's the reason why I'm here, right? She saved my life. Going back, you know, a couple of years, I've spoken about this pretty openly. You know, I hit rock bottom, and she was the catalyst of waking me up, right? My rock bottom was, you know, dealing with addiction and getting to a point where she was just 8 years old and realizing that I had a problem. And I'm thankful. It sucks that she had to see me at my lowest, but also I'm proud that she got to see me build myself up from that and saw the work firsthand of like hitting rock bottom, all right, step by step by step to getting to Bound for Glory and winning the world title. That's why I had that moment with her, and I felt like it was very important to share that with her because she was the reason that I was there, and that title belonged to her, you know.
Does she have any interest in business, or she still, you know,
My
still
God.
too young?
Listen, she, at least once a week, she's like, hey, when are you gonna take me to train, or when are you gonna?
Oh, wow.
And right now she's in dance and gymnastics, and like
perfect.
she's doing so great with that. She takes like 4 classes a week. It's crazy. She has a crazier schedule than I do. But she always tells me, listen, I'm just doing this to get into wrestling. And I'm like, well, let's calm down. Let's pump the brakes. But nah, man, like she loves it. I love that she loves it. There's times where she's in her room and she'll have the door cracked and I'll walk by and I'll hear her watching wrestling in the room, like just on her own, which is wild to me. But I feel like I'm in between with it, right? Like of course I want her to follow in footsteps and I want to leave a legacy behind for her to follow, but also is like the sacrifices and the pain that I deal with on a daily, you know what I mean? I think the biggest thing is not even just the business itself, is just like my trainer when I first got into pro wrestling, he told me, there's one thing I'm gonna tell you and I'll be real with you, is be ready to live a life of pain, right? Emotionally, physically, right? And he was right. You know, he was right, because that's one of the things that we sacrifice in this business is our body, right? And I don't know if I want her to like feel that pain, you know what I mean? Because of course I'm daddy and I'm there to protect her, but it's like she's gonna make her own decisions, right? And if there's anybody that I'm gonna trust in guiding her and training her, it's me, you know? But yeah, man, like I think one thing I did tell her was like, above all, education is everything. That's the priority. Myself, I went into pro wrestling school right after high school. I didn't go to college or anything. And I think it was a secret to my success as well, where I didn't give myself a plan B. I was like, this is what it got to be, and this is what it's going to be. But I don't recommend that for everyone, you know what I mean? And for her, I want her to be able to have options, you know.
And speaking on that, you know, not only with the popularity of wrestling, period, but women's wrestling. I mean, because like I said, same thing, me coming back after decades away, I'm just like,
oh, it's a different world.
These ladies go probably as hard or harder.
100%.
I mean, high flying. I mean, so how cool is that for you to be, you know, in it, to see your, you know, your peers, you know, having the space and the stage just like the men's division?
It's awesome. It's very important, and it's something, you know, as we saw growing up, it wasn't like that. No, you know, not. It was a lot more based on your looks and what you could show and all these things, right? And the fact that we've gotten to a point where now it's like you said, the women are going just as hard as the men, and they're creating a amazing path for themselves, and it's a beautiful thing to see, especially being a girl dad.
Let's talk about the importance of, you know, constantly having to knowing when they're ready to pivot and you know, and make changes.
I think that's the beauty of pro wrestling as a whole, is that it's constantly changing and evolving, and there's constant opportunities for you to learn. I think it's super important. And I've always prided myself on someone that could adapt to any situation. And I think that's key in any business, right? Because it always changes and life changes in general, and you gotta adapt and you gotta pivot. But I think I've embraced all those things in a good way, and it showed through my work and where I'm at today. You know, wrestling is roller coaster. It's up and down, right? And when it's up, it's great, and when it's down, you got to love it just as much, you know. And yeah, but I think I've done well with adapting, especially, you know, I've wrestled for 2 major companies, TNA and AEW, and just with that alone and that transition, like, it was more of, okay, how can I do something different than what I did there?
Right.
You know what I mean? How can I change? One thing that I've learned over the years, and I've learned from someone, you know, personally, Chris Jericho, he's like the king of reinvention.
Right.
Right. So the key is to always reinvent yourself, always make yourself stand out, and however you can. And like me in this transition and coming back to TNA, I thought of exactly that. All right, how can I reinvent myself? How can I change my look? How can I approach things differently in business, in the ring, you know, in all aspects. So, yeah.
One of the things that I've quickly learned, I've always heard how bad NBA Twitter is, but the wrestling
brother,
fans, I'm like, you guys are never satisfied.
Let me tell you, internet wrestling is the devil. Let me tell you. But you know, it's such a small percentage of wrestling fans, and it's so but they're loud.
Oh, they're very loud.
They're loud, and I think they know that since they're so small, they gotta be twice as loud, right? But you know, like, you're the paying customer, right? You have the right to cheer, you got the right to boo. Everyone has an opinion, and that's okay. You take it as it comes, and you keep it pushing. Like, I've never been one to allow any of that stuff to get to me, or because you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, you know what I mean? And that's okay. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? But yes, wrestling Twitter, that's not it. Yo, I could do a whole interview on wrestling Twitter. The thing with me is that I just hate the tribalism. You know what I mean? That's to me, that is the worst. It's like, yo, just love pro wrestling. It's okay to have your brand that you follow and whatever, but like when you're like carrying the pitchforks and ready to go, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, we get it. Calm down. It's just wrestling, bro. Like, take it easy.
Okay. What should fans expect just on those 2 big nights?
Man, you could expect some of the best pro wrestling that's out there today. You have a hungry roster, which is full of young guys and girls, full of veterans, full of guys and girls in their prime. You know, I think the beauty of TNA wrestling and its roster and what we're giving today is that we're giving something to every wrestling fan. You know, you have hardcore, you have comedy, you have stories, you have straight wrestling, you know what I mean? And I think it's a beautiful thing. And that's exactly what you could expect on January 15th and the 17th. And of course, me just having worked in Dallas so many times, Dallas always comes out strong. And I think it's going to be no different on those two nights. And they're two big nights, right? You got the debut on AMC on the 15th, which is pretty much ushering in a new era of TNA wrestling. And then just 2 nights later, you have the very first major pay-per-view of the new era. So it's going to be a huge deal.
And I'm sure you try to approach each show, you know, like it's high on the list, importance. But
100%.
Is there any extra pressure on, you know, your typical weekly night show versus a pay-per-view at all? Or?
For me personally, I try to give my all with everything that I do because I'm very conscious of the fact that every night could be your last match, right? And with how crazy this business is and how dangerous it could be, like I always just try to leave it all out there because, like, hey, if it's my last one, I want people to go back and be like, yo, he put it in, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, of course, like, everybody says on the pay-per-views, the lights are brighter, the crowds are louder, you know, but we put in that heat everywhere we go, you know, so I just try to do the same.
Okay. 3 words to describe TNA Impact.
Resilience, strength, and immortal. Like, we got the 2 big shows, January 15th, January 17th. Tickets are available, TNAwrestling.com for all the information. I got 2 immersed episodes. One dropped last week. The other one drops tonight, actually. Well, today at 12 p.m. Amazing documentary. A lot of hard work, a lot of passion went into getting those together. Pretty much shows the process of me getting to Slammiversary and from Slammiversary to Bound for Glory. So really in-depth stuff behind the scenes and pretty much just giving everyone a piece of my heart and my story, man.